Hello students, today we are going to continue the chapter force. This is the third chapter of your syllabus and this is the second part of this chapter. In the last session we have understood that what is force. Okay, many things related to force we have learned, and today we are going to learn more things which were left about the force. So let's continue. Some examples. Actually we have, what have we learned, that what is force? Actually force is the what we can define the force as the pull or push. When we pull or push anything, any object, then we say that it is said that the force has been applied to the object. So some examples of push or pull that we see in our daily life are listed below. In our daily life, time to time we see the examples of this pull or push. Like one example is there, that two teams pulling the rope with enough force in a tug of war game. You must be aware of the tug of war game, that two teams are there, okay, in the different side, and they all of them carry and that hold the rope and they try to pull towards them. Okay, in this also they apply the force on the rope to pull the rope towards them to win the match. So here we see the what, pulling of the rope. Now pulling a chair to sit on it, whenever we pull the chair, that time also we apply the force. So pulling or pushing means of these things we see the examples in our daily life. Every day we see, like pulling a rubber band to expand it, and pushing a wheelbarrow, pushing a pram, it means baby car, to move it ahead, pushing a refrigerator door to close it. Means here either we push or pull the object. No, it means we apply the force there. So now a few things will, something interesting we'll know about Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton was an English physicist. Physicist means, what is the meaning of English physicist here? Actually English word is used for the person, for the people of Britain, like Englishman. So English physicist means the physicist who was of Britain, who belonged to Britain. So he was the physicist, mathematician and astronomer also. He described the laws of motion and universal gravitation. He gave the law of motion and the law for universal gravitation also. It is said that he formulated the theory of gravitation by watching an apple falling from the tree. All of us know this thing. It is very means all of us know that from where the idea or anything has come in his mind about the gravitation. Okay, we know that when apple falls in his head from the tree, that he once he thought he was sitting, I think, under the tree, then one apple fell down, then he understood that why apple or any object always falls downwards, why does it not go upward? And from here he started thinking and he gave the theory of the gravitation. And about gravitation we will learn in detail in the chapter of gravitation. So here brief knowledge was there, has been given for Isaac Newton. So this thing you should learn. Now terms like stretch and squeeze also refer force. Obviously stretch or squeeze also refer force. If the force applied on a body results in increase in its length, okay, in the direction of the applied force, then the body is said to be stretched. Suppose that if the force is applied on a body and because of that force the length of the object increases, then it is said that the body has been stretched. Suppose that anything you have taken, suppose this is the rubber band. Okay, if you will apply the force and in this direction and in this direction, you will hold from here and you will just try to move your hand in the other direction. What will happen? The length of the rubber band will increase. Okay, the length of rubber band will increase. Why? Because of the force applied on it. So if it happens that because of the force applied the length of the object increases, then it is said that the object has been stretched. It means we will say that the rubber band has been stretched. What? Stretched. Okay, this word, this stretch. Understood? So example is also that only whatever I have taken right now, that when we stretch a rubber band, we apply the force so that its length increases. No, if the force applied to a body result in the decrease in its dimension and volume, then it is said that the thing is squeezed. What? When the length increases, then we say that what, we say the stretch, we use the stretch word for that when the length of the object increases. But when the length or volume or dimension of anything decreases because of the force applied, then what we say? We say that the thing has been squeezed. Okay, in place of stretch, what? Squeeze. So like a sponge, if you will take any sponge in your hand and you will uh, what, you will apply the force on the sponge, then its volume will decrease and its shape will also change. It means we squeeze the sponge. I hope that you understood. Like one example is here, that one tube is there. So when we push here, then what happens, that the volume of the tube decreases, the volume decreases and the shape also changes. It means it is said that we have squeezed the tube. I hope that you understood the meaning of stretch and squeezed. Sorry. For example, when we squeeze a tube, we apply a force then so that the dimension decreases and its shape changes. Already I have explained this. Now force is expressed in gram force, kilogram force, Newton. Okay, these are the units of the force. Okay, these are the units of the force, and Newton is the SI unit of force. What? Newton is the SI unit of force. Okay, the SI unit of force is Newton. So this thing should be in our mind. Okay, all the time. Generally, force is measured with the help of device that is called a spring balance. Okay, the device which is used to measure the force is known as the spring balance. Now we'll learn about the effects of force. Okay, so there are many. Okay, there are many effects of the forces. Like one is there that effect of force on mass, and activity is given. Activity you will read yourself. Okay, many activities are there in each and every chapter, so all of you do the activities because it will help you to understand anything in a better way. So try to do all the activities of all the chapters one by one. Okay, activities are very important as theory. Okay, so now we will talk about the next effect of the force, that is force can produce motion. Already first day in the first session of the force we have learned that force can produce the motion. It means if any object is at rest. What is the meaning of rest and motion? If the position of, let me write first, rest and motion. First we will understand this, that what is the meaning of rest and what is the meaning of motion. If anything, if the position of anything does not change with the time, okay, means the position of anything does not change with the time, then it is said that the thing is in the state of rest. Okay, suppose that this ball is kept anywhere and after some time also it is here only. Okay, means the time passes but the position of the ball does not change, then it is said that the ball is in the state of rest, it is in rest. But if the position of the ball changes, okay, the position of the ball changes with the time, means few time ago it was there, again now it is there, now it is there, means every second the position changes, then we say that the object is in motion. I hope that you understood that change in the position of anything with respect to time is known as motion. Okay, so now we will talk about that force can produce motion. Obviously if anything is at rest and if we will apply the force, it will start moving, so we understood that here that force can produce motion. Because of the force applied, the motion is produced. Okay, force when applied on an object by pushing, pulling or hitting in any way, okay, then what happens, that it can make the first object move. For example, we push a heavy box to move it. To pull a car door to open it. Okay, here also motion produced in the what, the car door. Hit a stationary golf ball. This is the golf ball. This game is known as golf, as you can see in the picture. So this is the golf ball. It is at rest. So whenever it is what hitted, it is hit, then the means the ball starts move. So it is saying that hit a stationary. Stationary means which is in rest, that is also known as stationary. If the ball is at rest, then we can say that the ball is in the stationary what state. Okay, stationary means simply we can understand that in the state of rest. So stationary golf ball means the ball, golf ball, which is in rest. Okay, so when it is hit, then it starts to move. Now in all the above examples, we what the example, the objects move in the direction the force applied. Okay, the when the force is applied on the object, then it starts moving. Okay, the motion is produced, but what is the direction of the motion, in which direction the things or objects start to move? Actually, suppose that this is the bulb and we are applying the force from this like in this manner, in this direction, then the ball will move in this direction only. If the ball is here and we will apply the force in this direction, then ball will move in this direction only. It means the direction of the motion is same as the direction of the force applied. In whichever direction we apply the force on the object, in the same direction the ball will start moving. It means the direction of the object, is same as the direction of the force applied. Okay, now however, if the applied force is not sufficient, you know that for moving anything the sufficient force should be applied. Okay, sufficient force, otherwise the object will not move. So if the applied force is not sufficient, the object may not move. Like you must have noticed that if you try to move, you will try to push a tree, it will not move, because whatever force we apply, that is not sufficient to move the tree from its place. Or wall also, if you push the wall, then it will not move, because the force applied by us is not sufficient. So sufficient force should be applied on the object. Okay, it depends on the object. If a smaller object is there, then very little force is applied. Bigger object is there, more force is applied. So like this, it depends upon the object, that on what we are going to apply the force. So sufficient force is required to produce the motion. Force can stop the motion. As it can produce the motion, it can stop also the motion. Okay, like we can stop a moving body. Here the meaning of body means object or thing. Meaning of body means object or anything. Okay, or thing. Okay, body means object or thing. So we can stop a moving body by applying force in a direction opposite. Okay, in the direction opposite to the direction of its motion. If suppose that this ball is rolling here in this direction, and if we want to stop it, then we will have to apply the force in the opposite direction of the motion, then only we can stop. Okay, when we apply the force in the opposite direction, then we can stop the what, the things which is already moving. So we can stop the motion by applying the force in the opposite direction of the movement or motion. So we have understood that we can stop the moving object by applying the force in the direction opposite to the direction of its motion. For example, we can stop a moving pram. What is the pram? Actually baby cart, in which baby is kept, kid is very means the child is kept and the trolley is moved. It is like the trolley. Okay, you must have seen in your neighborhood or in your house also. So example is there that we can stop a moving pram by pulling it from what, behind. Suppose that this is the trolley. Okay, and you are just pushing it, and it is going in this direction. If you have to move this cart, okay, if you have to move this cart, then you will have to pull it. It means you have to apply the force in the opposite direction of the motion. Okay, the direction of motion is this, direction of the motion is this. If you have to stop, then just opposite, in the opposite direction we will have to apply the force. It means you will have to pull the cart towards yourself. It means we will have to apply the force in the opposite direction of the motion. So I hope that you have understood up to here, till here. So in the next session we will talk about the more topics, more changes, more effects of the force. Like force can change the speed of the motion, force can change the direction of the motion, force can change the shape and size of the object. So a lot of things are there which we have to learn. Okay, so in the next session we will continue the chapter, and you will read whatever it will be taught in the next session. You have to read before that, then only you can understand very nicely, and keep on revising all those chapters one by one which have been taught. Make the routine and revise, or give a few times for the revision also. Every day 15, 20, 25 minutes you give for revision, and make the routine for the revision. So all of you, for today this much only. We'll continue the chapter in the next session. All of you, bye, have a nice day.